Yeah, I think Zeeshan is also here.
Hey guys, hi.
Hi Zeeshan. Uh, thank you for joining us today. I think I was just engaging with some of the audience who's joined. I think crowd coming in from India as well as abroad. So we have a lot of people coming in. They have joined from London and Canada too. So I think we'll just quickly begin. I'll just give a quick introduction of you and then we can surely take it forward, Zeeshan.
Sure, yeah.
Right. All right. Guys, we are pleased to have Zeeshan with us, Mohammed Zeeshan, who's the co-founder and CEO of MyCaptain, a platform which has empowered over 1.5 million students to pursue their alternate careers through mentorship-led learning. I remember Zeeshan has come to my college as well for hiring. I remember that. Zeeshan is a Forbes 30 under 30 Asia honoree. He's a passionate advocate for youth-driven change. He is a first-time founder himself. He started MyCaptain out of his college journey while he was in college. So he truly understands the journey of building something from ground up as a student. Under his leadership, MyCaptain has scaled so much it has gone beyond India as well. um, Recently we got a good news to hear that even MyCaptain has been acquired by Ticker's learning group as well. Um, Zishan today will be taking us through the essentials of starting up as a student, how to navigate the early stage challenges, also, to build for scale, his hard-earned wisdom of, how he has scaled MyCaptain from 0 to 1, that wholesome journey he'll be sharing with us today. Let's give a warm welcome to Zishan as he takes into the world of student-led innovation specifically. Over to you, Zishan.
Okay, hi guys. Absolutely a pleasure, as always, to interact with young founders especially when they're 18, 19, 20, 21, still inside college, absolutely clueless about how do you build a venture. And I think this is a cause very, very close to my heart because maybe 10, 12 years ago I was right exactly where you guys are. 18, 19, 20, passionate about bringing about a change in the world, absolutely clueless about how to do that. But at this age that you guys are at, there is absolutely no barrier that exists in your in your heart or in your brains. There's no context of the world that you have still gotten. So the kind of ambitions and dreams that any 19-year-old, 20-year-old inside a campus, inside sitting down in their dorm room has, if we are able to channelize that or fuel that, and if we are able to help them navigate that, I think it's you'll see a lot of companies and organizations emerge that will completely transform the world. And it's no surprise that if you look at the top 5, 10 companies in the world when it comes to market cap, where did they start? Who started them? At what age? If you look at it, Dell, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, all of these companies, Google, all of these companies started off in on campus. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and drop out. Please do not take that from me. But what I'm telling you is that there's just something magical that happens when you're that young, when you start in. And there's something just magical about that campus that enables you to be able to build out companies at global scale, which truly transform the way the world functions, right? So, talking about that and setting some context in it, right? I personally feel that college is the best damn time to start a venture. And there are 4, 5 different reasons to it, and I'm gonna, talk all about it. Now, before I do that, let me start off with my journey. And let me start off with my story. And as I tell the story, I will start talking about, why does it make sense to start your journeys when you're in campus. To give you some context, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't even remember now, 2015, so about 10 years ago, a couple of my friends and I were sitting in a hostel room a night before our examinations. And you all know what happens in a college dorm room a night before an exam. Everybody comes together, sits, and decides to have group study sessions, right? And in these group study sessions, you start talking about everything under the sun except for studying for the next day's paper. And this is a similar story where all of us were just inside a room, and Okay, I'm sorry. I'm started looking at questions. Got distracted later. So yeah, I was talking about this conversation a night before the exam, and my friends and I started talking about what careers is it that we actually wanted to pursue. Now I told them that I was super passionate about astronomy and astrophysics and wanted to get into pure sciences, and that's what my where my heart lied. And my other friend wanted to become an economist, and my third friend wanted to become a journalist. My fourth friend wanted to write a book. The fifth person wanted to get into stock markets and trading. So how did it happen that four, five, six, seven people who are passionate about completely different things from different parts of the country? I was from Nagpur, which is central India, a small town over there. I can't even say small town; it's fairly grown now. Then there was another friend of mine who was from Jammu and Kashmir. My third friend and my third co-founder was from Bangalore or Chennai. We still don't know where he's from. But yeah, that was the story, right? You had one person from the south, you had one person from central India, you had one person from Jammu and Kashmir, there's another one from Kolkata, the other one was from Pune, and five, six different people from five, six parts of the country, passionate about five, six different things, all of them sitting together and studying fluid dynamics, a subject that has nothing to do with the kind of passions or ambitions we had for ourselves. And this made us realize that in India, at least a decade ago, that has changed fairly right now. But a decade ago, when we went out there to solve this problem, in India, if any person wanted to pursue a career beyond engineering, law, medicine, or conventional careers, they had absolutely no place or idea how to become an entrepreneur, how to become a designer, how to get into stock markets, how to, especially tier 2, tier 3 cities in the country, where the only aspiration was to probably crack JE or NEET or CLAT or a couple of other professions. So it started off as an idea to change the way India looks at careers, to be a platform which enables students to pursue a career that they truly love. And this problem was so dear to our heart. So we are so driven by it that for us, it was not about building out a startup. It was about solving this particular problem. So all the founders, and eventually we went out there to start building this out. So all the people, it was a problem that we faced ourselves. It was a problem that we are married to. It was a problem that we wanted to solve in the country. And we knew that for the next 7, 8, 10 years, at least that is the amount of time that it takes to build out any significant venture. This is something that we want to wake up to every single day and solve for. So early days, when we decided that this is the problem that we wanted to solve. Now, naturally, because we were not people who understood startups or understood how businesses function, we had no idea what to do. So it was a college project, like thousands of other startup founders sitting right over here who would be thinking that, hey, can I convert a college project into a venture? I've done this research, I'm studying this subject, XYZ. And it was kind of similar to us. It was just a small movement inside a university and then eventually inside different campuses in the country. And it was just like a small project that we started working on. And we said that, okay, let's go out there and start a magazine, start creating content around different careers in India. And that was the first solution that we came up with. Now, I'm going to tell you the entire story of how the product evolved, how we decided upon the problem, the solutions, and through that, I will start talking about why college is the best damn place to start up. Now, the first thing was, okay, let's sit down and figure out how do we solve this problem. What are the different solutions to it? And for us, it was okay. Let's start building out a magazine, because this was 2014-15, print still existed. This was pre-geo times. Internet did not have that much of penetration, and the primary problem, primary solution to the problem was awareness. And awareness, you need a medium to communicate. The medium to communicate was a magazine. So for us, in our heads, it just made a lot of sense that, hey, chalo, let's start a magazine, okay? So like any other bunch of kids, we started gathering people who could help us out with building this out. So we went inside the college. We started talking to all the people in the literature group or the writing group, and we found out and we were able to get our first writers and editors from there. Then we realized that okay, magazine is about writing. Now, how do I get the graphics in, and how do I get this magazine design? So we went to the visual department inside the university, and we hired a bunch of kids as interns to come in and start designing the magazine. Then we realized that okay, we need advertisements in the magazine, so we need an outreach team which can go out there and start getting ads and sponsorships. So we went to the college fest team, and we picked up all the people who were dealing with sponsorships, and we said, hey, you guys have all the contacts, and they want to, it's the same target audience, same target group. Will you come in and help us out and get us some advertisements in the magazine? And slowly we built out the entire team. And what I realized at this point, it's a learning, is that the most essential thing that you need when you're starting a venture out is your team, is your set of co-founders. And a university which has 1,500, 2,000, 5,000, 20,000 people in and around you, having different passions, different interests, different skill sets. Some of them would be the best damn coders out there. Some of them would be kick-ass marketers. Some of them will know how to communicate and sell something. Some of them will know how to write, create content, be influencers on campus. And your entire team exists within 500 meters of you. And the biggest challenges of ventures is to build that team together, especially when they are starting out. In college, you have the access to every kind of people, every kind of talent that you can think about within half a kilometer of a radius. So I think one of the primary, and this is access to the team at technically no cost, because they would come in for a certificate, they would come in to volunteer, they would come in to build their profiles and resumes, and they still don't have any responsibilities of the family to take off at that moment. They're still students that they technically need to be paid a lot of money to do what needs to be done. So it's you have access to technically almost the most affordable team that you can ever have, with the most diverse skill sets within half a kilometer, 500 meters of your hostel. So the team, finding your team or finding your first set of co-founders is absolutely the most easiest when you're starting off inside a campus. Now the second thing, so we assembled the team, we started working on the magazine, and we started doing marketing, we tried to get customers, and we spent about a year building this out and went to market with it. And when we went to market, within 3, 4, 5 months, we realized that nobody wanted a magazine, nobody cared about it. Who the hell in 2016 wants to pay money for a print magazine? And suddenly, all the money that we had invested, all the team's 1.5 years of effort that had been put in, and all the classes that we decided to bunk, all the grades that probably halved during this 1.5 years of building this out, was in question. What's going to happen? Is it going to survive? This doesn't make any sense. Nobody wants it. So here, a realization and a learning was that while the problem was real, the solution that we went out there in the market with wasn't really a solution that anyone inside the market wanted. So instead of spending 1.5 years trying to perfect that magazine, trying to perfect that product, it would have probably made more sense if I would have used that 1.5 years to talk to people, because the audience was still in school and colleges, and I had 25,000 of those people who are my market right in front of me, and I, like a stupid idiot, did not even go out there to talk to them. And I got married to the solution that I had, which is I want to create this kick-ass magazine because wow, I'm going to be a great there's such a cult thing to do, right? I'm a millennial, I'm a 90s kid, so for us it was not the app generation. If you look at any cool thing that any person did in any film was to start publications and magazines, and I think we got carried away with that back in those days as well. So what I realized in this period, and this is where another aspect of it comes in is who gave me this insight. While we were doing all of this promotions for the magazines and things were not working out, I went to the MBA department in my college. And surprisingly, they were extremely supportive, right? They were not like the engineering department who was like, go focus on your CGPA and get your attendance. 75% attendance is mandatory. Do this, do that. Who will give you a job? Stop doing all of this. So I heard all of that from my professors whenever I tried to approach them in the engineering department to do something. But surprisingly, the MBA department was super, super, super friendly. All of them were passionate about helping students out. And I went to the dean directly and I said, you know what, I'm stuck. This is where I stand. Things are not working out. There is no adoption of the product. Nobody wants to take this. The content is amazing. The product is absolutely brilliant. And I'm very proud of it. I still am very proud of it. If I look at the magazine today, I think it is still relevant today, about 10 years from where it started off. But at that moment, she started guiding me and she said, you know what, probably you need incubation, probably you need mentorship, you need guidance, you need people who can tell you what to do and what not to do. And this is where I got the exposure to what we call as building out your board of advisors, building out your mentors, getting mentorship. And I went out there and I reached out. I identified that, okay, I'm in the space of education. I'm in the space of careers. I am technically a media company at that moment because we are a magazine. So who are the 5, 6 people in the city that have been there and done that, who are entrepreneurs, who are media entrepreneurs, who are educators? And I just identified 5 people and I said that, these are the 5 people I want to go and talk to and see what do they have to say about this. And very interestingly, out of that is in this group right now that we have over here is Parinita. Parinita's mom was one of the first advisors that I went to, who was my class teacher in 8th grade in Center Point. Life comes a full circle here to see her over here now getting some kind of an insight to build out her own venture. But yeah, so Shama ma'am, which is Parinita's mother, was one of the advisors on the education side. We had Vikas Chawla, who was the founder of Social Beat, one of the largest, digital marketing agencies in the country, to help us guide us with media as well as customer acquisition. So I just went to them and I started talking about what is it that I was doing. And when you're an 18, 19-year-old who's passionate about something, who wants to change the country or change the world, and you talk to these people, they will more than happily entertain you and give hours and hours of your time and make sure that you're headed in the right direction for nothing in return. Absolutely nothing. So neither do they expect you to pay them, neither do they expect you to give them any equity or anything. It's just pure passion because there was someday that somebody else helped them out when they were venturing out, and it's their time to give it back to the society. So similarly, the only difference between you and your mentors and your advisors who will guide you well and make you realize the mistakes that you're doing or help you chart the next path of growth for your venture will be your advisors. And you have access to these advisors, a ton and a bunch of them, even on campus. Your professor who might have started a software company, sold it, and is now teaching. Every university has these guys. Okay, some alumni from your alumni circle who would have went out there and raised tons of funding, or is a venture capitalist himself or herself. A ton of other people on campus who have domain expertise in that particular field that you're building for. There's somebody from IISc Bangalore here. IISc Bangalore is the hub of deep tech in the country. Everything emerges from there. If you don't need to go anywhere else, if you're from IISc Bangalore, your professors, your incubation center there, your technology labs that exist over there, all kinds of infrastructure that you need exists over there. And again, they can be your board of advisors. So building out your board of advisors, your mentors, your people, because at this age of 19, 20, 21, 22, what idea of the world do you have? What idea of how do you build out a venture do you have? What experience do you have? You don't have anything. And that's a great thing. That's a great advantage because that doesn't put any context or limitations to your thoughts or your dreams. If you ask me today if I would have started a venture out, probably I would say no. But at 19, I was the first person to jump onto it. Uh, while that is great to not have that context, you need that guidance and mentorship. Especially, I'll say beyond guidance and mentorship, you need incubation. You need structured programs that you can be a part of that can help you start building a venture. And there are innumerable such programs that exist inside the country today that will help you get your first 100, 200, 300 days of starting a venture right. And NSRCEL, IM Bangalore is where I went as well. So when I went to this MBA department to get some advice, they told me, hey, this guy called Suresh, who was the chairman of NSRCL, is coming down to give a lecture tomorrow. Why don't you attend this lecture and talk to him? I said, okay, let's do that. And I took my magazine with me. I spoke to him, and Suresh obviously did not have a conviction on the business model that we had, but he said that, you know what, the problem you're trying to solve is real. The solution is not something that people want. But do one thing. I want you here. I want you to travel from Chennai to Bangalore every single month once on the last Friday and meet this person called Naga at NSRCL. And every month you'll have to do that. Every month you'll have to travel from Chennai to Bangalore, spend 1 hour at IM Bangalore with NSRCL, with Naga, and give him an update about what happened last month and fix what you need to do for the next month. So for the next 15 months straight, 15 months, every single month, I traveled on the last Friday of any month from Chennai to Bangalore on a bus, uh, taking one or two team members of us such that they experience this as well. And every month we had a check-in. And that incubation, that kind of a mentorship, that kind of a guidance with NSRCL, which is the IM Bangalore's incubator, helped me completely transform the business. In fact, right after we did the first meeting, we went back and we said, we're stopping the magazine. We're not going to do this. We're going to move into an online platform. We're going to completely relook at the problem, completely relook at the solution that we're trying to solve for, do a bit more deep research and thesis. And eventually, what we realized was, apart from career discovery, first and foremost, I had to move away from being a non-scalable product like a magazine to an online platform. B, the research after talking to, I think, if I'm not wrong, about 800, 850 odd people that we spoke to after that, we realized that people did not just want to understand what different streams exist. They also want to have enough skills to be able to get a job in that field or at least an internship or get started in that field. So it was not just about career awareness. You had to package skilling along with it. So we went there, we started iterating on the solution. And then in 2016, right before graduation, a bit before graduation is when we started MyCaptain. Now, MyCaptain then became this online learning platform where we started off with teaching writing, photography, entrepreneurship, robotics, astronomy, and basically picked up passions and interests, and we brought in live learning. We compared ourselves to a Coursera and Udemy, and we said, how can we be better than them? The only way to be better than them was to be live learning and not recorded content like they did. So he said, can we get the best practitioners, best mentors, best professionals to come in and start teaching, not engineering, not coding, not medicine, not class 10, class 12 subjects, but actual skills that are needed to build careers in robotics, in writing, in photography, in entrepreneurship, and so on and so forth. And then obviously it took off. And during this time, when we started doing all of these interactions internally, is when we started applying for B plan competitions across the country. And one such B plan competition again was at NSRCEL IM Bangalore, which was Buzzwings. It was India's largest B plan competition with a price at that time, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, a prize of 10 lakh rupees of equity funding, and incubation for 2 years at IMB. And luckily, because of again 15 months, about 20-24 months in college, developing a product, getting early traction, building out revenue, bootstrapping the venture, we were at about 4-5 lakh rupees a month of revenues, about 400-500 students signing up for our programs every single month before we even graduated, right? All of this happened because of constant mentorship, and we won the competition. So when we won the competition, we got incubated at NSRCEL for 2 years, and that is where we started scaling the company. So in our first year, with 3 people full time, my journey and full time role started at NSRCEL, where we incubated the company. We're a team of 3 full timers, 3 founders. When we graduated out of NSRCEL in 1.5-2 years, we were a team of about 25-30 people. By the time I sold the company, it was 300 people. So the incubation helped us go from 3 people to the 25 people within 2 years, within technically 1.5 years. So when you're starting venture inside campus, as much as it's a great place to find your co-founders, it's a great place to get your advisors and mentors. It's a great place to fail, like we did when we started the magazine, and the repercussions of it is nothing. What did we lose, right? Nothing. We just lost probably 2 or 3 pointers in grade, and some time. But the fact that you have 4 years to experiment, figure out, or 5 years to experiment and figure out what works for you or what doesn't work for you for your venture, you're not going to get that ever in your life after this. You won't have the luxury of 4 to 5 years or 3 years or 2 years, to go and keep trying, keep iterating, keep changing, and keep failing without having any consequence once you graduate or once you get out of college. This is very unique, and that is one of the reasons, right? If for 3000, sorry, for 300, 600, 900 odd days, you're able to build in campus and make all the mistakes that any entrepreneur would. I think that's extreme privilege. That's a privilege that cannot be matched by anything in the world. You cannot buy time with investment. You cannot buy the network and the opportunity and the luxury to fail. Forget the time. Just the fact that you have the luxury to fail, and over time figure out what's going to work for you or what's not going to work for you. So that kind of a luxury comes in when you're starting a venture out in campus. So reiterating my points, first is it's the best damn place to find your co-founders and your first team. Is the best damn place to get the right mentorship, guidance, and a board of advisors, because they will take you out on lunches, they'll take you out on coffee, they'll take you out for dinner, they'll take you out, they'll tell you to come in and work from their office. They will give their own team members to help something out in case you're building out. That is the kind of leverage you get from a board of advisors and your mentors. Then you have access to B plan competitions, incubation, NSRCEL, structured programs like the campus program, the What the F fund, the grad capitals. There is so much more today. The fact that every university has an incubator, every university has funding, grants, none of this existed back then. And still we were able to do it. So imagine the kind of opportunity that exists today, that you have all of this at your fingertips. And one thing, keeping my political opinions aside, one thing that the government has done fantastically well, and there is no doubt about the absolute brilliance of how the government has been able to shape up the startup ecosystem in the country, perhaps the best in the world. So hands down, the last 10 to 12 years, 14 years have transformed what Indians can. Basically, the fact that today being an entrepreneur is a very valid career option at power with getting a job. Forget it being a second option. For some families, they look at your parents have started looking at entrepreneurship and startup founder and all of this as a super aspirational thing that your child can get into and start building. So I think that entire thought process around student entrepreneurship has changed, and the amount of access to capital, access to structured programs, and access to ecosystems that are there to help support you and wish for your success exist in tenfold times than they existed 10 years ago. So make use of that, because an opportunity like this comes in. It's a economy defining opportunity here, right? So the focus is on startups and on new ventures and on founders from campus. So the fact that unemployability is a massive problem that exists in the country, a great solution to that is venture creation that can solve for unemployability in the future. And hence it remains as a massive focus for the government to keep funding. There is immense amount of capital available. So if you think that capital is an issue, you do not need capital to start a company. I'll come to that also in a while. But if you need it, especially the ISC folks and people who are building out in deep tech, there is enough capital available. So that's one of these 4, 5, 6 odd reasons why you should start a venture in campus. On another note, because you guys are entrepreneurs and are in the early stages, I would like to touch on this other aspect that I just right now said, which is, do you really need money to start a venture? Let's look at a few examples. In shorts, right? Started off as a Facebook page. They're about $100 to $200 million in valuation right now. If you look at MyCaptain, we started off as a WhatsApp group. That's it. We started teaching on WhatsApp, and then we moved into our platform after 2.5 years of using external platforms and just putting something together that works in an MVP format. If you look at Swiggy, started off again as a WhatsApp group in a locality with restaurant owners and a few flatmates, and the founders used to take orders on that WhatsApp group, pick up the food from the restaurant and deliver themselves to the place. In fact, even Zepto started off in an exactly same manner. You really need money to start? No, you don't. You just need to put together an MVP, a very big, just figure out how do you solve that problem. You don't need a fancy app. You don't, just start doing it. Just start solving that problem for, once you've recognized what your problem is. So there are tons of these examples that are a proof. Even Flipkart did not need money when they started off. There's another venture of ours, not ours, like our juniors in college, called Dhobiji, also associated with NSRCEL. They made 80 lakhs in revenue before they graduated by using a bloody poster. They did not have an app. That's it, just a bloody poster which talked about what their services are, and they bombarded WhatsApp groups of all college students with it, and that's how they started getting orders. So there's so much so many examples out there of the fact that you really do not need any kind of experience, b money to start a venture. And these are two things that no college student anyway has, right? तुम्हारी कॉलेज में उधारी चलती है कैंटीन में, तो अब मैं क्या बोलूँ कि कहाँ से पैसा लाओगे वैसे भी. So you don't need experience, you do not need any kind of money to start your ventures. You just need a pure dedication, will, and that ability to take action, to feel powerful, to feel that urge to solve that problem. I need to be married to your problem. That's one part of it. If you have that passion, you are just purely driven by it, that in my life in the next 10 years, I want to dedicate my youth to solving or changing the world in this way, or solving this problem in the world or this problem in my country. And that's it that you need, and the bias for action. So yeah, I think on that note, that sums up my experience of building out a venture in campus. I then moved out of campus, bootstrapped the venture for 5-7 years, raised about 500,000 paid learners, completely bootstrapped, not a single rupee of external funding. We're clocking about 20-25 crores of revenue per year. Built it out profitably, then decided to raise venture funding, raised about $5 million in venture funding, scaled it up, recently sold the venture in November to Ematicus Learning to go IPO. And now with these guys for the next 2 years, we'll complete my journey here, seeing the company go IPO 1 year into the IPO and 1 year after the IPO, and then probably sit down at an NSRCEL and help out the next generation of founders. So that's it, guys. Thanks for being so patient and listening to the story. Happy to take any damn question that you may be having out there. I know that there'll be so many questions that each one of you will have. Happy to take them and answer one by one.
Yeah, Zishan, before we move to the questions part, I think what you mentioned about Dobiji and your own My Captain venture, right? That's one of the things I'd like to tell a relevant point here where I'd like to spotlight is that at NSRCEL, we also have a student entrepreneurship track that is called Campus Founders Program, which is GPS Fellow Initiative. Right now, the applications are live for it. If you're a student who's based out of college right now or recent graduate who's passed out of college running refining your prototype, you have a prototype, you are seeking to validate your ideas and scale upon, I think that's the right platform. As Zishan has pointed out, finding right mentors, finding funding opportunities, finding peers who can support you, finding a co-founder, maybe getting into the ecosystem itself. There are a lot of opportunities that NSRCEL offers. If you're someone who's interested in terms of engaging in the campus founders program, enrolling that, you're right now building any sector agnostic startup, I think you should explore it. I think we'll put the link in the chat, and then you can type CFP so that we can get back to you during the AMA session. I think now we can move on to Zishan's interaction. We can open the floor for questions here. I think we have a couple of questions that have come up, Zishan. I'll just give it to you. Rihaz has asked that what's the biggest learning while raising funds? Any tips on pitching with limited traction?
Okay, with limited traction, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, first get traction. That's the being very straightforward and as direct as possible right over here. Unless until you're from extremely premium institutes in the country or have some kind of a previous success story of selling your company, if you think that you can raise a round of funding just basis of an idea, unless until you're in the deep tech space where actually it is recognized that you need money to build out that idea or even start experimenting with it. Today, the ecosystem today, I'm not talking about how it was 2 years ago, because 2 years ago, sorry, 3, 4 years ago, you would raise money, with an idea. So there are these peaks and falls of the entire ecosystem that happens it's cyclic. Every 6, 8 years you'll have a peak where any Tom, Dick, and Harry will get funded, including me. And then you have a crest where no matter how amazing a company you have, you'll still find it very difficult to raise a round of funding. To give you some context, last year there was only 2 companies in the entire ecosystem, like last year, so about we can say 23, 24, which raised more than $50 million by a investor which was not already on their cap table, by a new investor out there, right? If look at that context, and just 2 years ago there was 50 unicorns coming out in 1 year, or maybe 60 unicorns which came out in 1 year. So it's as dynamic and as stupid as it can be when it comes to how venture capital, how funding flows and behaves. So you need to be okay to understand that all of this is very cyclical in nature. It may not be sometimes you may have a great idea, but it may happen that that sector or that category is not something that investors are looking to put money in immediately. So you may have to just keep working on it, demonstrate great traction, have a great growth story, and then finally somebody, after talking to 50 VCs who have rejected your idea, maybe one day one VC will write you a check. So traction is the most important thing, in fact, more than anything else out there. So get some traction. If you've gotten very little traction, that is traction. Can you start scaling that traction? If you have little traction, I'm very happy. At least you've started doing something. Now pick that up, right? So what is that traction? What are those 3, 4 metrics for your venture that demonstrate that your venture is doing well? In fact, this is a tip to all of you over here. Once you figure out your problem and solution and you have your first MVP and you've entered the market with that MVP, or at least started doing some kind of a trials here and there, identify what are those 2 or 3 numbers that you need to measure, metrics that you need to measure every single month, every single day, every single week, that are indicators that your company is doing well. For us, it was the number of students who were signing up on the platform, the number of educators that we had on the platform, the number of courses that we had on the platform, the completion rate of the courses, these and the attendance rate on every live class. These are the 5 metrics. We measured them in on day one. We did not even have live classes and completion rates on day one, because that came in after 2 3 months of people starting to start doing the course. But on day one, what we had was how many students do we have and what courses do we have. So what we did was, for the next 12 months, we took out um, a chart paper, and this was stuck at NSRCEL for a longest period of time. This was a first year's business plan. We put down 3 metrics, which is the most important metrics for the company. And we said we will grow it 20% month on month. And no matter what happens, every month, these 3 metrics need to grow by 20%. So our 12 months, we did not have to look anywhere else apart from that chart paper that was right in front of us. These are the 3 metrics. Zeeshan, you're going to own enrollments of students. Samir, you will own the number of courses. You will own the learning experience. So how many people complete the course? Now shut up, put your heads down, and every month, every day, every week, this is all that you care for. This will help you to craft your next 12, 15, 18 months of your startup journey post the MVP phase. And if you can demonstrate that, you can demonstrate these 3 4 metrics, which are the most important metrics, to be growing at 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% month on month. You go to a VC, you go to an angel with just 6 months of data, and suddenly you'll have checks flying in. You'll have people committing to it, because they have seen they have seen growth, and B, they have seen traction. So traction is the best way to prove that your venture is going to work or not, right? So let's get the traction. Secondly, now comes to, this is on the operator. See, I'm more of an operator than I'm a person who keeps raising money and keeps going to VCs to scale the next stage of growth for the company. I've been an operator for most of my life, and only in the last 3 years I've done the fund days and the mergers and acquisitions and all of that. So my answers will be very operationally focused, because that's what I think early stage founders anyway need to. Now, second part, if you're going out there to raise funds, despite all of this, if you're a college student, the first question that will come is, hey, you're not even full-time in it, right? So should I fund you? Can I put that money in you? To solve for this particular problem, there is enough number of campus programs that have come in. There is the campus fund of NSRCEL, campus fund, right? If I'm not wrong.
Campus founders.
Campus founders, yeah. Campus founders of NSRCEL. There is Zerodha's WTF fund, the fund comes in. Then there is there's Grad Capital, and then there are a bunch of these 3 4 5 more funds which have come in focused on student entrepreneurs. That's one way to get your first check. The other way is your institutional incubators. Each one of them has grants to fund startups inside the campus. So if you have a TBI, you have a technology business incubator on your campus, that may or may not be able to get you your first 5 10 20 25 lakhs of funding, may come in from the technology business incubator inside your campus. Then you have angels. So once you get this incubation and you get this campus fund in XYZ, the next stage, typically you'll go to a pre-seed, seed, micro VC. You may go to angels. And a lot of angels also, understand that angel investment is not really driven by returns. They know that 9 out of the 10 angel investment that they're going to make will be bust. They are not going to give any returns to them. So a lot of the money that angels put in is purely basis of the cause that they relate to, basis of the problem that they wish to solve for, basis for the kind of people or the founders. Are they probably their alumni, or are they passionate about a place that are they from the same city? Are they building out in the same space that probably they made their money in. It's very emotional decision, as much as emotional as it is rational for an angel to put the money in. So angel investors are a great way, and a lot of angels would go out there and give that money to students. You know what? Try this out. Yeah. If not, there is so many other things that can work out for you. But I have some cash lying in. I want to empower people. I believe in the problem that you're trying to solve for. You're a student. You have so much of, you're starry-eyed. You have so much of passion in you. Let me enable that, and you will see that. You'll see that happen a lot, right? So angels are a great way. So yeah, these are some ways that you can raise your first round of funding.
Zishan, also, most of the people are asking, how do we manage team and hiring processes? What are the criteria for your hiring while you started out, especially managing a young team?
Managing a young team, if you're young, anyway, you don't have a experience, context, or skills, right? What you have with you is the character that you bring in, the clarity that you want to build something meaningful, and the passion towards and the alignment towards being a part of a movement, of a cause, of a problem that you're trying to solve for. So, what you look out for, in fact, I'll tell you the story. When I was building out my first team, and obviously we were not paying anyone because we didn't have the money initially to do any of that. So these are all volunteers. And when we started having some kind of a traction and some kind of a revenue, and then we had this 10 lakh rupees offer from NSRCEL, um, I went back to my team. We were 15, 20, kids inside college from different parts of the country, in fact, to be honest. And I told them, listen, if you want to build this with me full time, you will have to give it to me in writing that today you will not you from today you will not even sit for your placements. Do you have that conviction to do this? Do you have that commitment to be a part of this? And I cannot promise you that I will be able to pay you. I cannot promise you that we'll be successful. But what I can tell you is this is the problem that we're trying to solve in the world. Do you want to be a part of this movement? You can take 1 year to come and try it out. If it doesn't work out, please go ahead, decide to move on. No problem around that. But today you'll have to withdraw yourself from your placement cells. We have this 10 lakhs from IIM Bangalore. We have 4-5 lakhs of revenue every single month. That's about a crore of traction that we have for the year, or at least in the bank that we should be able to see. I should be able to, afford to pay you 15, 20, 25,000 rupees a month. But are you willing to sacrifice at least sitting for your college placements and give me 1 year of your life when you're deciding to work with me on this? And obviously, like out of 15 people, only 5 of them said that, you know what, no matter what, we are in. Let's talk. And then these 5 became my eventual co-founders, and they got equity in the company, and now they are enjoying their exit and so on and so forth. So that commitment and that clarity, because what skills do they have, man? Tell me one thing. Do you really think that a 20-year-old has any kind of skills that cannot be changed or cannot, or has skills that can help me build out a venture or a company? No, they don't. What they have is sheer, absolute, mad passion to be able to churn out the 20 hours a day. I've slept on the tables of NSRCEL, all of us. And in fact, that is how it used to be. My co-founder, CTO, who used to code the night, I would not leave that cabin because my co-founder is sitting down and he's coding. So even though I didn't know anything about coding, I would just get him coffee, I would get him tea, I would sit down with him, I will sleep on the table right in front of him, but I will not go back to my home because there's somebody who's sacrificed so much for me to build this out and be a part of this journey with me. And that's the level of sacrifice. So you need people who are willing to sacrifice for you in that 1-2 years, because to be honest, what is it that they are sacrificing, right? What you're not asking too much. And if they're able to give you that, I remember my call to Samir, and I said, listen, probably this was not even when we had any money. This was second year of college. Samir was my co-founder, and I called him up and said, I do not know whether I'll be able to pay you even 5,000 bucks a month after this, once we graduate. We still have 1.5 years to graduate. But what we're building, the problem that we're trying to solve is a massive problem in the country. Let's figure it out. Can you commit at least 2 years post college to me? And probably it may be at a price that I won't even be able to pay you $5,000 a month. And at that age, that time, and neither did he come from too much privilege or money anyway. He did commit and he did say that, you know what, no matter what, I'm in. So it was just funny that, all of this worked out very well. But what we were looking for is that sacrifice, that passion towards the vision, towards being part of this movement, that drive to commit 20 hours a day to build your venture out. That is what is needed. So if you think that uh, that founder mentality and mindset is needed, so that's what you look at. You look at, what is this person willing to sacrifice for you to be a part of this. Then obviously it shows up in results, the kind of skills that they build, and because your skill building and what they'll contribute then starts happening once they join in, once they start picking up those skills, once they start working on it. They don't have those skills when they're in college anyway, right? None of us knew any damn thing. We understood how digital marketing works by putting 500 rupees in on Facebook ad for every single day for 3 months and studying by doing that and understanding what works and what doesn't work. We understood how to raise funds by talking to 50 VCs. We understood how customer satisfaction works by reading articles online and implementing it inside the platform and tracking our NPS every single month. So yeah, that's your answer to what you look for in your team, in your co-founders. You look for that passion. You look for how much they're willing to sacrifice for you.
Yeah. I think Zeeshan, you have summed up all the questions. I think some of the people wanted to talk to you. I think Bhupesh wanted to talk to you. Bhupesh, you can unmute and then ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I want to like to know about that. Any funding, any seed funding is there? Because I would like to start my own startup. Currently, I am doing my agri business, like growing kharif crops. So I am looking for some investor or bank loan funding to start my venture, like open grocery shop, want to open complex, or something real estate as well as with some agri business, mixture of both businesses. So any support or any funding is there? Hello.
Yeah, Bhupesh, I think the question is related to more of NSRCEL. We can take it up in the AMA session. Meanwhile, Sharansh, you can take up your question. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, am I audible, right?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so I have just one question that does users in all over India really need cashback on their bills as we are working to provide cashback? Or is it really solving a problem, does providing this cashback services and all on any kind of bill they want?
So Saransh, I think that's a user research that you're doing out there in this. Actually, let's encourage that, right? Let's ask it in the chat section. They can reply in the chat section or anywhere. All of everyone. How many of you choose or wish to have a cashback on every single transaction that is relevant? Would you start downloading a new app and start paying from that if that app starts to give you a cashback on every transaction? Let's see what the chat section says. Just to let you know that you have to be very shameless in going out there and ask as many people as possible if the problem that you're trying to solve is a real problem or not. And Saransh, I'm super proud that you decided to do that and asked us directly, about this. But I think the learning is talk to 1,000 people. Saransh, pick up the
Okay.
phone, talk to 20 people a day for the next, 60 days or 50 days, and they will tell you if they want to or not. Or you roll out create a survey form, and push it across all the target audiences that you want to go to, and tell them to fill it up, and you'll have your answer. Right?
Yeah, like just I have just created a WhatsApp community with almost like 50 members in it. So majority of the users just visit my website and upload the bill to receive cashback. directly in their account.
And okay, so Saraj, I think there's something that's going on for you, right?
Mm.
There's some early traction and usage that you're seeing. The community is a great way to start and to prove or check whether something is needed or not. I think we can take it up more on detail. What is it that you're trying to do? If you're talking about cashbacks, for what purpose, and how are you facilitating that cashback compared to anyone else out there for some other transactions that they may be having? Those are questions that we have. I think we can help you out in the mentorship or any. Do they have mentor sessions right now for Campus Fund?
Yeah, we do. We do have for the campus founders. We do have mentoring sessions. We do have, learning phase that takes across from, prototype stage to MVP. Somebody who's trying to validate their ideas also. We have all of them covered. All the founder essentials are
All
covered.
right, Saraj, you know what to do. Apply for the.
Yeah. Saraj, we'll take this up in the, AMS session. Also, there is a
Okay.
question from Aryan Zeeshan. It is related to brand building and position ourselves in the perfect competition market where there are tons of buyers and tons of sellers, same product at similar price. How can we do that?
I'm just reading the question again. Okay. Same product as well, right?
Yeah.
I think then it's a game of messaging. And that's a very clear example of how, in fact, creator led businesses recently have disrupted existing brands just because the founder came out and started talking about it online and crafted a story around it. Especially if you look at the whole truth, if you look at Port, if you look at so many other examples of people already in super saturated, crowded Mama Earth, super saturated, crowded markets, FMCG dominated by people with 100 to 200 500 billion dollars behind them, with distributorship that you can never ever imagine to build. And still, just the fact that the founder story or the communication of the brand was suddenly able to create that distinction in the same crowded market. I think that's where it boils down to. If you're in a red ocean with tons of competition and you're a commodity, then the brand is what is going to differentiate you. How you communicate, how you position yourself, how shameless you as a founder to come in and put that content out. Look at the barber shop, right? Went out there, started talking so much, built out a category of his own, and suddenly all the early adopters and people, there's a flywheel effect that has started happening because of the content that he created out. The fact that Zerodha, right? Zerodha is very restricted to a certain sector of audience, and suddenly it's a go-to brand for millennials and Gen Zs. How did that happen? It happened due to content, not anything else, right? So content, brand, storytelling are a great way. The other way that can work out and differentiate you is testimonials of your own customers and of your own users. Because when you have companies fighting for a space, I would prefer trusting a human than the messaging of a company. And the human is your customer. The human is the founder. So these aspects are very soft ways in which you can start, differentiating yourself from the competitor. If the product is exactly the same, the pricing is exactly the same, and there's literally no differentiator. So that is one part. The other part is distribution, right? So do you own the distribution? Do you have any kind of distribution which acts as an advantage for you compared to others? So the simply put, um, if you're selling, let's say, if you start a notebook company today, right? A notebook is a bloody notebook. Nobody cares, right? What brand, what XYZ. So whether you succeed or not doesn't depend on your brand, doesn't depend on anything else, but the fact that how many stationery stores have you been able to put your product inside? And why is the stationery store or that retailer selling your product compared to anyone else? Have you incentivized them more than, let's say, companies at large scale to be able to sell your product compared to the other products that exist? So one is distribution. Can you beat them on distribution? Can you create your own distribution? The other is brand storytelling. The third is customer testimonials or the founder's personal brand, communication, content, so on and so forth. So that's way that are certain ways where you can differentiate this.
Zeeshan, there is also one very interesting question which I found out here. Someone was asking, what is the one like any unsolved problem in the education space right now?
Oh, there are
Learning especially.
tons and millions of problems that exist in the education space. See, again, let me actually, digress from that and make it something that works out for everyone over here. How do you pick your problem? There are two parts to it. One is an opportunity, and D is the founder problem fit. There are two parts to it, right? So while you are asking about क्या problem exists at the education में, let us take a step back and look at a framework that I've been. It's personally my personal framework. I've given it to thousands of people out there. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, feel free to ignore it. I feel that the founder problem fit is more important than anything else out there, because the whole aspect of an opportunity, it only comes down when it comes to when you want to start a venture scalable business and you want to do $100 million of revenue. How many of the companies want to do 100 million? How many of them will reach there? Very, very few of them will. But everybody can start a venture. It may do 2 crores, 10 crores, 20 crores, 20 lakhs, 200 crores, 2000 crores. That depends on the problem and the opportunity that exists. But if you can every day wake up for the next 10, 12 years, put your energy and time into building your venture out, gain some, be able to sustain yourself, be able to take care of your wants, needs, luxuries, XYZ, and be just at 20 lakh a month or be at 2 crores a year or 20 crores a year, you're still more successful than 90% of the venture funded series A companies who are still struggling to find out a product market fit, scale, XYZ, so on and so forth. So the first focus is, do you love doing what you're doing? Do you love your business? Do you love going to work and creating or building what you're building? That passion is the first foremost thing that you need to solve for, because your journey is going to be so difficult. It'll be so lonely. You cannot even imagine. Like I'm telling you, no, think about the worst of the worst that can happen, multiplied by 10x. That's the kind of life an entrepreneur lives. If you think you're the boss, you're not. You are responsible to all the customers. You're responsible to all your employees. Your responsibility to take care of the payroll the next month. Your responsibility to service the customer who paid you money for. Your responsibility to return the money of all the investors that have invested in you at beating the Sensex, Nifty, and what they would have done if they would have just invested in SIPs. So these are the responsibilities that come onto you as a founder, as an entrepreneur. And if you think 5 things will work, 4 out of them will not work. Only 1 of them will work. So this journey is so difficult and so going to take such a high toll on you that the only way you'll survive and eventually succeed is if you are madly in love with the problem that you're trying to solve, or if you're damn passionate about what you're building. And how do you look at this, and how do you marry it with an opportunity? Take a piece of paper, write down 3, 4, 5 industries that you get excited by. For me, it was education, astronomy, basically space tech. Then it was music. Then it was sports and football. Then it was, let's say, women empowerment and basically helping marginalized societies, and not just women. So anyone who's marginalized, can I empower them? Can I make their life better? These are 4 or 5 areas that I'm passionate about. Post writing these 3 or 5 industries, write down all the list of all the stakeholders that exist in this industry. Education, I go down from nursery to basically primary, pre-primary, secondary, high school, XYZ, schools, colleges, parents, students, educators, teachers, softwares, real estate. I list down all the stakeholders that exist in that industry. Then I start doing my research around what problems are these stakeholders facing. What are the top 2 or 3 problems that each of these stakeholders face and believe are the biggest problems for them. Sports sponsorships. So players find it difficult to find sponsorships. Players find it difficult to get high quality training and equipment and XYZ. Players are not able to make enough money unless until they are the top 0.1% in the world or in the country. So on and so forth. Like there will be every stakeholder will be facing 3, 4, 5 problems that exist. List down all of these problems. You'll have a bunch of 50, 100 different problems that exist. Now take the next 5, 10 days, just start reading these problems and start seeing, okay, you know what? These 5, 7 problems out of 50 really excite me. And then spend 2, 3 more days. Don't look at it from a business opportunity yet. You have to eventually, but not see, startups solve problem, they create value, they get paid for that, right? So that will figure out. First, let's boil down on those first 5, 4, 3 problems that can help you, that you see yourself solving in the world, and that you want to be remembered as. You want to spend the next your entire youth, because if you're studying right now, forget that you'll be doing anything else till 30 if your venture succeeds, right? So and that's exactly what it has been for me as well, a decade-long journey minimum, right? So for the next 10 years, all of your youth, what is that industry that you want to be in, what problem you want to solve for that industry. Post that, sit down and try to get it down to 3, 4 problems, and then start to talk to these people. So these stakeholders, reach out to them on networking events, on LinkedIn, WhatsApp groups, communities of these guys. Go and talk to 50 out of these 3. For the 3 problems, there'll be 6, 7 stakeholders, different types of stakeholders, or maybe 3 stakeholders. Talk to 50 of each of these stakeholders. So 150 conversations, 200 conversations, document it. And then you'll have clarity exactly of whether it is a problem in itself to solve, and how big is the opportunity to solve for. What you have done is you have already started doing your research before even you picked your problem. First you approached it with a founder fit, that hey, I want to be in this, I am good at this, I love this, hence I am the right person to solve for it. B, at the problem level itself, we started talking to the stakeholders to understand whether it's a problem or not. So you'll be able to cut down and go down to probably 1 or 2 problems that you finally decide that you wish to solve for, and then the journey continues from there. So there's a nice framework that takes care of the interests of the founder and is not just opportunistic in nature, because I've been there, done that. I started out a content agency, I started out a comic store online, I did a content site before this. All of them had traction, all of them were making money, and none of them excited me. I just gave all of them up because this problem that I picked up, MyCaptain's problem, was so close to my heart, and I got so excited by it that I shut down every damn thing to focus on this. So you need to be that passionate and that mad behind what you're building for.
Got it, Zeeshan. I think you have summed up beautifully all the questions. I think that also applies to how do we track the knowledge of ecosystem, right? If you put this framework and keep yourself updated, I think you'll also know what to do, what not to do. Really great insights. Now let's move on to the AMA session, guys. I think Zeeshan, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be now moving on to the AMA session that is covering all the queries regarding to the Campus Founders program. Yeah, thank you so much, Zeeshan.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you so much. Please feel free to connect with me on Instagram, I'll say, rather than LinkedIn. If the Gen Z is what you guys are, most of you are, feel free to slide into my DM. And if you want to get any kind of help, I am always available. I have some bandwidth. If I can help you in any way possible, if you need regular check-ins, anything, completely happy to do it pro bono. Happy to help you guys out and guide you in your next 500, 100, 200 days of starting your venture. Something that excites me very personally. So feel free to reach out and be shameless to ask for help. Take care. See you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Zeeshan. All right, guys. Moving on to the Campus Founders program. A lot of you guys have shown interest and had multiple queries. So before we answer all the questions, I think I'll take a quick run through of the deck where we have all the information consolidated for you guys. Right now, the applications are live and you can go through the chat. We'll put the link out there and also the website link where you can apply as well as go through the program details as well. Campus Founders, as earlier mentioned, it's a GPS Fellow initiative where we support student entrepreneurs who are right now enrolled in the college or recent graduates who have a prototype or a proof of concept. When I say prototype, doesn't mean a solid prototype. It also have something you have trying to validate. It's on paper. Maybe say you're trying to make a healthy mayonnaise, you have a kitchen conceptualization or a formula on the page or a paper or a deck or something like that. We do accept those kind of applications as well. We are founder centric in that nature. Let me take you through the program's focus and the offerings that the program has, right? It's a 4-month program, completely hybrid. We don't want to disturb your academic calendar as well. At the start and at the beginning and at the end, we have immersion boot camps where you get to come down to IMB, interact with your fellow cohort mates, get to learn some of the snippets of entrepreneurship through the live classes here. And then specifically when Zeeshan spoke about his journey, also the other parts where he had to pivot, he had to take feedback, there was a mentor who's in place. All of that will be covered, but we majorly focus on how your venture is being built, how your entrepreneurial mindset is also being focused. We feel that both of these aspects has to be covered, where how do you build a team, how do you manage your time and resources, how does executive communication being happening. Today you might start out as a solopreneur, but tomorrow there might be people who's onboarding. You might, as he told, there are multiple stakeholders. You have investors, you have your team, you have the larger business ecosystem. How do you handle that? How you as an entrepreneur will nurture yourself? We do that for you. This is the correct built-in space that we have right now here. Coming to the venture, how do you achieve the customer centric problem? Especially I've seen a lot of questions coming on tech, non-tech, tech versus non-tech blueprints, right? If you're a tech founder, how do you handle non-tech part? Or if you're a non-tech background guy who's coming into conceiving a tech company or a tech allied company, how do you ensure that you are going on the right path? All of these are covered here, where the right kind of business model development has been taken through our sessions and the incubation program here. We have go-to-market strategies which are very much customized to every sector agnostic. Bear in mind, this program is very sector agnostic. We open applications to all kind of sectors, all kind of problems that the student-led innovation right now is trying to solve, especially the learning problem. There are people who have been solving on the learning abilities in the past cohorts as well. We have a certain roadmap that is being structured. Once you get incubated, we take you through a certain roadmap over the 4 months. Sometimes it's get extended also to a bit of 5 months, where we tell you about the entrepreneurial essentials. How do you actually scale your product? How do you validate your product first, and then go forward, see how you want to get update yourself and want to know about the ecosystem at large. And of course, the essentials of marketing, finance, legal, team management. Of course, in a whole of this is the hustle culture that has been up. How do you not get burnt out so easily? This also we ensure that you are equipped all of the essentials that you would need to be a student entrepreneur, or while you start very early in the career, how do you navigate those early stage challenges and go forward and scale your venture. Coming to the program structure, right? Month zero, we have shortlisting where you pitch to the panel. There are rounds. Once you apply at our stage, we have a internal screening process that goes, and then you get a chance to pitch to the panel, and then onboarding happens. You are now part of the cohort when the onboarding happens. Then we take care of your portfolio management. Me, Akshay, and the larger team here, we would be acting as a portfolio managers for each venture. You have a portfolio manager who takes care of your venture, who talks to you, who's also your buddy, who's like a mini mentor as well, where he connects with your right people, right stakeholders, right kind of problems what you have. If there is anything that has to be taken care of, that person will be your right POC there. And in terms of due diligence, how are your legalities there? How are your regularities being ensured in the startup or co-founder stakes? Everything will be covered in that. We have a startup toolkit where we have access to some of the tech tools, non-tech tools. There is a stack of things that our NSRCEL offers for you. And of course, the value proposition refinement. How do you actually propose it? You have your value proposition in right place. And when the month one kicks off, right? This kicks off, and the ball gets rolling into month two. You have all the fundamentals covered, as I mentioned earlier. You have legal, finance guidance, information on the funding ecosystem. We have our own resident investment desk who will let you know about all grants that are happening on a rolling basis, on regular basis. You have connections to our funding ecosystem as well. You have demo days going on where you can apply and pitch to the ongoing demo days that happen around. We have multiple programs as well. Once you start with this program, you can pivot, you can also scale to other programs as well. You have anchor mentoring where dedicated mentor has been given to you. And then on the prototype development as well, if you're building on a tech or R&D support, we connect you with other ecosystem partners as well. We talk about your prototype development, we give you right kind of mentoring there. Sales, GTM, and business model support is also being rendered. You have a very structured subject matter expertise that is being delivered to you in terms of entrepreneurial learning, right? Once you know the nuances of entrepreneurship, you validate more fast, you iterate more quickly, and then you scale also, very confidently, I would say. And then you have checks and balances in between. There is a program that runs, but we have mid reviews and end reviews where we track your progress. You tell us how things are going on, and the mentors come into picture and give you feedback of what's happening, what has to happen, or where you can do better as well. These things happen in the mid and then at the end as well. Of course, you have access to our larger network. Once you get onboarded and then graduate from this program as well, you'll be as an NSRCEL alumni. Patents and registration is also being done. We have an in-house legal consultation here. And then uh, and the closing month of this, where I would say that's the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, where you learn the essentials of pitching. You also see how the investor perspectives are in terms of early stage ventures, right? One of the question was of, without traction, how do I pitch it? All of these essentials will be covered in the pitching workshops we have. How do you pitch to the investor? How do you actually be present in terms of showing up yourself at the investor's perspective, right? And we do have grants. GPS fellow initiative means that GPS renewables is supporting this program. They support throughout this. All the selected candidates will be supported by them. You don't have to pay for this. And then they will also give you the top performing startups will be getting the grant disbursement from their side. And they will be supporting your venture through the grants. While coming to the next part, how does that pan out in terms of program components, right? Mentoring, workshops, and speaker sessions. We have marquee speakers coming down. People from Beacon Protocol has come in, NASCOM. There are people in other spaces where they come down here. They interact with the student entrepreneurs, student-led initiatives that the people are doing. Especially the Campus Founders program, people show more interest in terms of coming down. As you're starting out early, you have the bandwidth, as Zeeshan mentioned. How do you fail fast and quickly iterate or reiterate your prototypes? We also have something called founder buddy, right? Once you get into an incubation program or entrepreneurial life, as Zeeshan pointed out, it's a very lonely journey that you're chasing one target or you're trying to solve problem. Here we have ensured that there are founder buddies from the previous cohorts or the larger cohorts in the NSRCEL who come down to you, who be your founder buddy. They'll tell you how better you can utilize an ecosystem like NSRCEL. How do you ensure that your venture gets timely, you meet the milestones there? How does incubation actually help you? How does NSRCEL has its offerings? How do you leverage the network that the NSRCEL is giving access to you guys? These are the things founder buddies will ensure you have a buddy there. You also have somebody as a reference points to look upon how they have actually graduated through these programs or been through incubation at NSRCEL. Of course, we have knowledge sharing and networks. We have multiple events that go on year round where you come down, meet with NSRCEL family, NSRCEL larger network, IMB profs as well, who takes some of the sessions for us on entrepreneurial mindset. Our chair is also from the entrepreneurship department who takes care of these programs, and they come down, they interact with the early stage ventures and founders. So you have a larger network pool access that is being given here. And while it comes to the eligibility, a lot of people were asking, I'm 25, I'm passing out in 2025. Can I apply to this or not? So let me just reiterate it. If you're an undergraduate, postgraduate, or the PhD, who is right now enrolled or recently passed out can apply to this. We accept all of these applications, all disciplines. We don't bar any sort of discipline or a specific domain of education. Graduation should be less than a year. That's what we prefer. And applications are open to all pan India, right? It's not just Bangalore or any specific location. Pan India students come down here from different IITs, NITs, BITS, institutes of national repute as well. You should have a working prototype essentially, or you have begun the development process. That's what I meant by if you have a paper prototype or you're refining, trying to refine your proof of concept. That's what we are looking at. And once you join this program, we also expect you to start registration process before or during the program, because we want you to be eligible for any grant that is coming in place, any sort of scheme, government, government ensuring that you get some sort of grant disbursement or a startup scheme that is available in the market that you can be eligible to. So we ensure that you are a registered entity, and you are a legal startup that is in the market right now. We also ensure that. And the program structure is we have all hybrid sessions. You can smoothly navigate through your academic calendar as well. That won't disturb. And we are obviously flexible in terms of having student-led innovations getting nurtured here. It's a 4-month long program. The time commitment essentially is 8 to 10 hours per week, where you have some certain takeaways that you have to take home, learn, and then implement. Certain times see the traction or the feedback and come back to mentors or us, let us know how your venture is progressing, to have proper support from our side. We have monthly reflection exercises with our experts and mentors. We have cohort based learning. As I told you, it's a cohort where you have multiple people coming in together, multiple ventures. It's a sector agnostic. There's no venture that is same. Maybe the sector or domain might be there, but the problem that they're solving is very, very unique. We ensure that the cohort is that way. We have pitching opportunities. As I told, we have demo days, we have investor connects, we have larger alumni that is investing as well sometimes, whereas some of the people coming in looking for people around campuses who are having unique solutions, right? They come down and they do that. And of course the government grants as well. Selection process is that applications are open right now. As you know, Akshay might be putting the link in the chats. And first round of shortlisting happens through the screening, through the application process. And then second round is that you pitch via online to our mentors. You have a one-on-one conversation in terms of a panel. It's like a Shark Tank or a business pitch that ideally happens elsewhere as well. And then top candidates from those pitches will be selected, and then they'll be onboarded in the Campus Founders program. That's yet to begin in the mid of July right now, tentatively. Of course, when you talk about panel online, you might be having some of the doubts, right? It's a 10-minute pitch that each participant gets, where you have certain elements that you have to cover on your idea validation or the prototype right now you have, to give a clear clarity on what you're building right now to the mentor. And then so that you have a conversation or a evaluation of your startup there. And then the panel consists of our resident mentors, like Zeeshan mentioned, the Naga sir, who's our resident mentor, who's been day in day out mentoring so many startups. There are veterans like that who are mentoring startups, who are resident mentors here. And the alumni of our NSRCEL ventures, like sometimes Zeeshan might also turn up in your panel, or a Dobiji or a Minty Cafe. They might evaluate a startup, and of course the mentors will do that. And then that's how you proceed to onboarding. The application deadline, as mentioned, it's we have started it on the 30th April. We have opened it now. 5th June is the last date for application. Please do apply it. And we are going to start the kickoff of the cohort in mid-July tentatively. You can scan this, that will directly redirect you to the application link. Happy to answer any questions right now.
Just to reiterate that the deadline to apply for the program right now is 5th of June. So we recommend everyone to apply before the deadline. You will be communicated on the result post 20 days after the deadline. even if you, though we prefer working prototype to get incubated for the campus founders to get incubated in the campus founders program. We encourage everyone, even if you have an idea, to apply for the program. If your idea is promising and innovative enough, uh, even if you don't get selected, you might hear back from us and get a feedback from our mentors or panelists.
Yeah. Having said that, we're very founder centric. So whatever comes to us, we make sure that we fully help you in any sort of the things. Uh, I see a question from Vaibhav. What if the startup is not incorporated yet? Please do apply, Vaibhav. We do encourage you to incorporate once you get onboarded here. We have the avenues to, rightfully guide you to how your startup can be incorporated here. Sharans has already applied. Thank you so much, Sharans, for keeping us updated on that. Yeah. Also, yeah. You will I get an opportunity to apply as IMB student? Yeah, you can apply as an IMB student, but if you have recently graduated, then only. If you have moved on to do another degree and you are right now enrolled in the degree, please do mention that as your, current details only. Please mention that. All right.
I've put in the link for the applications as well and for our website as well. Those who want to know more about the program and those who are non-students and want to know more about the other programs at NSRCEL can visit our website nsrcel.org/, the programs. You can also write directly to us on campusfounders@nsrcel.imb.ac.in for any queries that you have.
Yeah. You can follow us on LinkedIn. We'll be posting all the updates of campus founders there. We'll share all the necessary information. You can please write to us on the email mentioned by Akshay. Uh, Mayuk, can I ask a referral for this program I'm building B2B HR SaaS? Mayuk, you can directly apply. We do, however, we would know if there is any referral that is going on, but we don't have any system that is in place that we take it on referral basis or, there is any priority like that. But of course, you can surely apply. Maybe we can take it forward that way. Application process is the same for everybody right now. Also, once you have already shown the interest in the past years or the right now when you have gone to the Campus Founders website, please ensure that you apply and submit the application successfully. Then only your application will get received to us. So make sure you apply and submit your application successfully, not just give us your interest in this program. Sanju, can a student studying distantly apply for this? Distance education? Yeah, Sanju, you can apply for this. Technically, you would be a student that is enrolled right now. So please do apply for that. Yeah, any other questions? Please do type in the chat. Happy to answer. If somebody wants to unmute and talk, you can raise your hands. I'll be happy to unmute you as well. Allow you to talk as well. Yeah.
Someone has asked what are the chances of getting selected. I would like suggest you to not look into the chances of selection. Like consider, like even if your idea does not get selected, you might hear back from us. You might get a feedback on how you can further work on your idea, on your solution, and apply later. However, just for the data point of view, 8 to 10% of our applications get onboarded into the program.
Yeah. We truly democratize, startup ecosystem that way. Of course, you would surely hear a revert back from us. Either it's a feedback or it's a congratulatory note that you have been onboarded. So make sure you do apply that. Yeah, Rishabh, you can unmute and talk.
Hello team, good afternoon. My name is Rishabh.
Yeah, please.
First of all, I would like to thank you, the team, for conducting these sessions. These sessions actually help us to be motivated and frame the solution in a way which is acceptable, which should be acceptable across. So basically, my question is, I am based out of Dubai. I am completing my post graduation. I would say my MBA, but I have my firm registered back in India.
All right.
And I really want to participate into this program because I'm thinking to build something into, I would say, sustainable energy.
Got it. Got it.
So I just wanted to understand how once the people who will get selected, how this program will look like because I'll be most of the time I'll be based out of Dubai.
All right. This program, as I told you, Rishabh, it's a hybrid program where most of the sessions are conducted online, and certain processes like mid reviews, end reviews, they also happen online, given the interest of the cohort, or the academic calendar that the students are right now enrolled at. You're in which year, if I may know?
Actually, I'm doing my global MBA, so I'm finishing my MBA here in Dubai itself.
All
So
right.
which will be finished by August this year.
All right. So once I mentioned that the program is conducted on a hybrid mode, we also require certain amount of commitment from the founder side as well, as per 8 to 10 hours per week. If you'll be able to dedicate that, I think you can smoothly navigate through this program and be available online. But we would highly recommend that people who are available to come down once or twice to IMB campus. That would be great, because you would also get to know what NSRCEL is doing right now. You'll also get to meet cohorts. You'll have a touch of live interaction as well. Having said that, this program is very flexible in terms of engaging in a hybrid mode as well. So I'd encourage you to apply. We'll surely get back to you on that.
Thank you so much for the clarification. Just to be sure, like if there is any kind of mandatory sessions that where I need to be physically present at IMB campus. However, I would like to visit IMB campus and connect to the mentors and the entire cohort.
Sure,
But
sure. Yeah.
just keen to understand if there is any specific mandatory sessions where I need to be there in the campus.
Yeah, as I told you, certain mandatory sessions will be required based on the cohort's preference sometimes, but we encourage all the founders to come down on the introductory sessions and the closing ceremony, so that you have certain sort of networking aspects that are there, and you also have peer learning that happens when you exchange knowledge and information while you are in a cohort and you are present at one place, right? That vibe is altogether different. That kind of has compulsion on founder to be there, but having said that, there are commitments and people sometimes don't turn up. But we encourage that you be available for the starting bootcamp and the end bootcamp. That's what we usually do, which happens like if you say July, the cohort is starting in the month of July itself, or in the month of August, we have a starting kickoff bootcamp, and say 4 months down the line, you have end bootcamp wherein you have grand disbursement, you have closing ceremony as well. Then you should be available at that point. Yeah, you can plan accordingly. But having said that, we also arrange online setup sometimes to be part of it. Yeah.
Of course, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mayuk, you can please.
Am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Hi, Shri and Akshay. Thank you for hosting such a wonderful session. So, like, it's really helpful for young founders. So, yeah, I came to NSRCEL last year in the Velocity series, right?
Got
It was really vibrant, really like kind of one of the like best like vibe it had. So like since then I've pivoted a lot, and I've just last yesterday I applied to Water Fund and YC as well. So like basically I'm building a B2B HR tech. So how NSRCell can help me in building something in HR domain?
Mayuk, I think I'd like to take this question on the email. As Akshay mentioned, we have our email there. You can shoot out there. We can also onboard other teammates there. We can have a very good detailed discussion over the mail. I
Sure.
think that's the right place. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else that want any clarification on the questions? Happy to talk. Maybe you can unmute and talk as well. Sumant, you had a lot of questions during Zeeshan's interaction. Would you want to know anything more? Thank you, Mayuk. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your participation. Please do apply for the Campus Founders program. As Akshay had mentioned in the chat, you can directly apply through the link. You can go through our website. You can follow us on LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much for joining today. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Looking forward for your application for the program. Have a good day.
Thank you.